3 weeks until it may potentially be ending, impacting millions of low-income people. I have all the details for you in this video. Let's get into it right away. But if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video. Things are changing very rapidly right now. I'm watching it all closely and I'm doing all the research, which I break down into these short videos and I deliver a couple times each and every day so that you can get the latest details hot off the wire and as this information is being released. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get right into the updates. All right, so this is something that I do want to point out for you, and I want to walk through all the details simply because as of right now, we have a very powerful declaration put in place, but in just a matter of about 3 weeks from right now, it may be expiring. However, this declaration does give government agencies and entities the special privileges to help out the low income and a lot of other privileges right now. But if this does actually expire in 3 weeks from right now, we may be looking at a very different landscape going forward. We need to understand all of the details on this, and I want to walk through all of these points for you in the video, let you know what it means if it actually does expire, what is the probability of it actually being extended, and if it does get extended, how long could it actually go for, and what does this mean in the event it actually does get extended? What is going on as far as what are some of these privileges and why it may be a good thing if all this information is extended. So again, we have a lot to talk about. Let's jump through all the details right away. All right, so way back on January 31st of 2020, something was put in place called the Public Health Emergency Declaration. Well, for over 2 years now, this thing has been put in place, and every time it comes close to being expired, they extend it out for another few months, 60 days, 90 days, a few months, something like that. Well, this was supposed to expire way back in the middle of January 2022, so a few months ago. However, they extended it out until April 15th, at the end of the day, April 15th of this year, which is about 3 weeks from now as I sit here and actually record this video. So we're looking at this thing potentially expiring once again. But why do we care, and what does this actually mean for us? Now, I do know that there are a lot of you in this community who are low income or living on a fixed income like Social Security, SSDI, retirement, survivors, SSI, VA, RRB, and a lot of low income people. So we want to understand what this actually means going forward. So first off, with this declaration put in place, it does give government agencies and entities special privileges to do a lot of different things right now, including like food stamps, extra food stamps, emergency food stamps, or SNAP benefits that are going out to about 22 to 20 states right now for the low income. So if you're in one of these states right now, you're probably still receiving the minimum of $95 each and every month. But to be totally clear, it does not include all states. There's about 20 to 22 states that are doing this right now. So you might know what I'm talking about. I believe New York is one of those states, by the way. So anyway, you've been probably noticing this. There's a lot of states that are sending out these extra SNAP benefits right now, the minimum being $95. However, there's a lot of other things that are also put in place right now. And with the Public Health Emergency Declaration put in place and this still active, we also have the prospect of potentially Congress having something to lean on to basically say, okay, here's, the public health emergency is still in place. There's a lot going on right now. We are potentially at risk as a country as a whole because of the whole COVID situation and all that business going on. Which, quick side note, as I've been mentioning here over the last couple of days, in the last week or so now, we've been seeing huge cases kind of really surge across the entire world right now. A lot of Asian countries as well as European countries are seeing massive surges in COVID cases right now. Like I mentioned yesterday, millions, tens of millions of people are actually locked down in China right now across many different cities. However, quick side note on the side note, because they're locked down in so many different locations over in China, again, this is just going to exacerbate the whole supply chain issue that we're dealing with right now, which is also driving some of the inflation. So again, something else we got to watch, another element of this whole story we've got to watch closely. But anyway, let's continue talking about this Public Health Emergency Declaration. So I just read some new information on this. It just came out a little bit earlier today, and I want to lay this out for you and let you know what this actually means right now. So here's what we know. The Health and Human Services Secretary basically came out just the other day and indicated that the Public Health Emergency Declaration will likely be extended probably for another 3 months, which would put us into about mid-July. That would be a good thing, right? So number one, that would be good. However, nothing has been confirmed yet, but the Health and Human Services Department has indicated it'll likely be extended for probably 3 months by the administration. President Biden can do this. He can extend this out. However, in the event it does not get extended out, then we're looking at an expiration of, like I said, 3 weeks from now, about April or the end of the day on April 15th. It would actually be going into expiration and it's ending. So that would not necessarily be a good thing. However, the Health and Human Services Department also did indicate that they would give a 60-day lead time to give us an indication as to when it would be ending. However, we have not been given any type of letter or any type of announcement or any type of indication that it's going to be ending. Therefore, they said that they would give us 60 days. Well, as of right now, 60 days out from now would put us at about the end of May. So that's about now. So even worst case scenario, if they do not extend it out by 3 months or 90 days out into mid-July, we know that we probably have about another month and probably about 5 weeks after the current expiration as of now, because even if they came out today and announced, okay, it's expiring as of 60 days from now, that still put us in about late May as of this recording anyway. So again, we're not quite there yet, but I have to point this out as well. This is something that will be expiring at some point in the future. We don't know when. Maybe it's April 15th. Maybe it's the end of May. Maybe it's July 15th or thereabouts or somewhere at that point. But considering what they're currently saying about COVID cases right now and how we're likely going to be seeing another surge of them in the United States, again, this is based on what I'm reading out there and kind of the spikes in COVID cases around the world right now, considering we're seeing all that, we will likely continue to see the public health emergency continue to be extended out longer and longer. But again, this is a good thing because as long as this is in place, again, like I've said, it gives many different government agencies and entities special privileges like the SNAP example or the food stamp example that I gave out a little bit earlier, a couple minutes ago. So that is one of the examples. Now, another thing too, as long as this is put in place and it is still relevant and available and that it's out there right now, the public health emergency, basically we could be looking at Congress, and then again, Congress can look at this and say, well, look, COVID is still surging across the country. COVID is still very much a thing right now. A pandemic is still very much underway right now. We need to send out stimulus checks, direct payments, or whatever they happen to come up with, which is actually kind of interesting considering here we are kind of almost pushing up against the expiration of the public health emergency. And at the same time, over the last, say, 2 weeks now, we've seen multiple different proposals coming out for gas vouchers, direct checks, stimulus checks, things like this. In fact, yesterday alone, I came out with another proposal that was introduced by those 3 Democratic representatives. Again, for $100 a month for an individual, $200 a month for a married couple, and even more than that if you do have dependents under the age of 18. So there's a lot of different proposals out there floating around right now to help out the low income. But anyway, one more thing that I want to throw out there as well. During this time that the public health emergency has been put in place right now, they've essentially been offering benefits in the form of Medicaid benefits to essentially anybody. Again, I'm just kind of saying this. This is not all the information, but I'm just basically saying, in general, they've basically been allowing anybody who's low income to essentially start getting Medicaid benefits. However, the problem is they haven't really necessarily been looking at all of the eligibility and making sure that everybody who applies is qualified and make sure that they can actually get the benefits, but rather they're basically just saying during this special time right now, during the public health emergency, while it is put in place, essentially pretty much everybody will just get benefits, whoever applies. But the deal is, as soon as this expires, they kind of need to figure out, okay, we've got all these people here getting benefits, who is actually eligible for them and who should still continue to receive benefits or who may need to be removed from the benefits. So that could be kind of a scary situation. However, as I continue to read more about this a little bit earlier today, I was finding that as they continue to move on with this and as they potentially face an expiration of this, they're going to do their best to continue making sure that the low income who are currently receiving Medicaid benefits right now and maybe receiving Medicaid services and who may not actually be eligible for Medicaid going forward after the public health emergency is actually expired, it was their dedication to continue working with these people to make sure that they achieve adequate coverages going forward. So they got a kind of a situation here on their hands that they need to actually deal with going forward. Also, one more thing I want to point this out. I know that I talked about this yesterday, but again, I want to mention this for you just because this is something that has been floating around out there, and considering we're talking about healthcare coverages and things like that, let me throw this out there for you. So, just as of the other day, they opened up open enrollment for those people who may be low income or fixed income and you want to actually get a new health insurance plan through the Affordable Care Act, the ACA. So, according to what I was reading on this, it looks like they opened up open enrollment for anybody and everybody who may be eligible for this, for zero premium health plans, things like this, through the end of 2022. So if you're looking for a new plan or something like that, feel free to check that out as well. Generally, they don't just open things up like this, but according to what I was reading about this, they did open it up for anybody, a open enrollment period for everybody through the rest of this year. Generally, you would need a special enrollment period in order to get in this time of year, but again, looks like they opened it up for everyone. So please check out the exchanges there if you're interested in doing that. But again, just wanted to point it out. Like I said, I know there's a lot of you here in the community who are low income or fixed income. I know that sometimes the information doesn't pertain to everybody, but I'm trying to cast a big net here and trying to really help out as many people as possible with all this information. And the way that I can deliver that to you is right here in these videos. So again, yeah, there's a lot going on out there, and crossing our fingers that Congress will come together and actually do something for the low income in the form of direct checks, direct payments, stimulus checks, vouchers, cash redeemable vouchers. I mean, honestly, whatever they can come up with at this point, I think all of us would probably be pretty happy about it. So anyway, they're doing some things out there, but at the same time, the more that this gap closes between where we currently are right now and the midterm elections, it's kind of a little ace up our sleeve. So just because, you know, Congress, they want to get something done, and they want to be recognized when we get to the midterm elections. So anyway, this is what I have for you as of right now. Again, I hope this one helps you out. As I do get more information on this, if they do actually extend out the public health emergency, or if they allow it to expire, any of the above, of course, I will continue to keep you updated as I do get more information. So please enjoy your day. Stay safe out there. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video or go back and check out any of the other 2,300 videos right here on the channel. And of course, feel free to share those with your friends, family, social media as well. Thanks again. Enjoy your day. I'll catch you again a little bit later in the next update. I'll see you soon. See ya.